What is up, creatives? Welcome back. It's Jahrell, your music technologist, here to help you master the tech you need to make music freely. And I am super stoked coming off of the Apple event this morning. I'm super pumped to talk to you guys about my personal thoughts about it, and I want to get some of your thoughts about it. Hopefully we can chat that up in the chat and maybe talk about it in the comment section on the replay. Apple just dropped a whole lot on us all at once, and I'm pretty pumped about it. Some people were underwhelmed, not sure why. For me personally, I was digging it. I tuned in right at 10. So let's just get right to it. Let's talk about some of the biggest announcements. So the iPad mini. I'm super stoked for this. I'm personally probably not going to pick one up just because I don't need one for myself. I'm chilling with my 11-inch, but man, is that a powerhouse of a device. It's basically a whole redesign. You know, the old iPad mini had the original design with the Touch ID on the front. They've stretched it out to kind of that all screen display, a lot like the iPad Air. I think it looks pretty dope. It also has the Apple Pencil version 2 instead of that version 1, and that means it also has a USB-C port, which is super dope. So I just made a video really recently. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out, talking about cheap iPads and which ones to get. And man, I'm gonna have to revamp that already because of some of the developments that have come in with the new iPads. So on that note, they also revamped the regular iPad, which is now the iPad 9th generation, and that is coming in at $329, which is a super good price. And basically they've updated the internals. We're talking we've got up to the A13 Bionic, which is super dope. Yeah, Benjamin saying in the chat, I got the iPad Air Series 4, so I'm good there. Yeah, I feel you, man. The iPad Air, if you got the Air 4, I think you're chilling. But for those folks that like to have something super portable, pretty much all the same power, the iPad mini is going to be dope, and that's coming in at $499. So I know that's kind of up there in the same price area as the iPad Air 4. So you kind of got to decide, do I need the portability or do I need the bigger screen? That's what it's going to come down to. The new iPad 9th generation coming at $329 is probably my new #1 recommendation right now for people that are looking for a budget iPad. The A13 Bionic is super powerful and it's going to be able to handle a lot of music production. I'm assuming they're giving you the same 3 gigabytes of RAM. They didn't mention any RAM updates in the event, so I'm assuming we're still getting 3 gigs. But man, $329, and if you're a student, we're talking $299. Like, that's killer. All right, so we got the iPad mini in here, and I wanted to get to some of these stats. Yeah, the capacity starting at 64 gigabytes. I think that was the same before. Yeah, being able, man, that's super dope. Being able to connect things USB-C to a screen that small is super, super dope. Especially for people that are like doing live musician type stuff, where you're using, say you want to use your iPad as like an effects pedal, or you want to have it as a sound module for your keyboard. You can just get you an iPad mini, connect it via USB-C to your keyboard, and just mount it somewhere super clutch, and you've got your own live, your own live setup. Super dope. USB-C in a device that small is pretty fire. They're able to stretch the screen up to 8.3 inches, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, we're rocking the A15 Bionic. On this iPad. That's what the difference is really. If we're talking between this and the Air 4, the Air 4 is going to have that A14, which is going to be the 15 is going to be a step up for sure. It does have the new FaceTime camera, which allows you to have center stage, which is super cool. I've really enjoyed using that on this iPad Pro right here. We've got the volume rocker at the top, so that way it makes room for the pencil on the side. Rocking iPadOS 15, pretty much it, but that looks like a pretty killer update. If we check out the new iPad 9th gen, I love that they did this. It's gonna be really cool for people that are, trying to get into that budget iPad music production scene. I would highly recommend this right here. $329 starts with 64 gigs now instead of 32, so that's a step up as well, while keeping the same price. So they've added in that A13 Bionic. It has the new ultra wide camera for center stage for your FaceTime calls and stuff like that. Silver and space gray. You can get up to 256 gigs in this, which I think is pretty good for music production. It's got the Retina display, still not fully laminated, you know, so you've got that little bit of air gap. It's not as nice of a display, obviously, as the other iPads like the Pro and even the Air 4. But, you know, when you're buying a budget iPad, you're buying the performance, and they've definitely not skimped on that. Still has Touch ID, but on the front screen. That's the main of it right there. So, couple things to think about when we're talking about these iPads on the lower end of price. You've got an even trickier mix-up to go between now with your choices. So the iPad Air 4 and the iPad Mini 6, both rocking that USB-C port. That's a tempting grab. I know that 500 is not totally possible for everybody, but if you're going to start out, either one of those I think is going to be a killer bet, and you're going to be able to do just about everything. I don't foresee you having any limitations. So I'm also really stoked about that new iPhone 13. I skipped over the 12 this time around, so I personally am gonna get the iPhone 13 Pro, not the Max. I'm just gonna get 256 gigs. I do all of my stuff with streaming, really, so I'm not recording a lot of video, and if I do, it gets uploaded to the cloud. So, you know, like this top-down camera that I use, you guys, right here, is actually my iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is mounted right here. And so when I get that iPhone 13 Pro, that's gonna take over this spot right here, and they have the upgraded cameras on there, so I'm excited to give those a whirl and see how that goes. So Joshua Watts says, I want that iPhone Pro in that new blue. Yeah, that new blue is pretty dope, I'm not gonna lie. So when I got the 11 Pro last time I got it, I got that the midnight green, the new color that year. And I was like, I really liked it at first, but then I was like, man, I kind of wish I had just gotten the black one. So this time around, I think I'm just going to stick with the black one so I don't end up regretting it. Even though the blue does look dope. But I think I'm a really like sleek and stealth kind of person, so I think I'm going to get it in black. But that was not all of the announcements. I'm super stoked about that Apple Watch, the 7th gen, which isn't yet available, but it will be later in the fall. They didn't give an exact date, but I'm curious to know about that. Again, the last time I bought an Apple Watch was the Series 5. I'm actually going to be passing that one on to my wife. So I'm stoked to get on the Series 7. The way that they've stretched the screen out all the way to the edge is super, super dope in my opinion. I'm most excited for the fact that they were able to get 33% faster charging with the Series 7 watch. That's big for me because a lot of times I'm doing sleep tracking and I want to top off my watch either before bed or in the morning when I wake up. So I'm excited for that. I'm super stoked for that cinematic video mode in iPhone 13. Like, I think that looks super cool. The ability to like change your focus in mid-shot. That seems super cool. But man, yeah, I think as far as iPad producers go, I think this was a good drop from Apple for all of us, really. I think iPad Mini is gonna be killer. Like, that would be probably my most recommended device for anyone getting started, so long as they don't care to have a super big screen. I think the iPad Mini is going to be super good. And it's an A15 processor. The thing's probably gonna kill. It's gonna be super speedy. Some people were hoping we'd get updated AirPods off this event, which didn't happen. I know people were expecting a design refresh with the Apple Watch. That didn't really happen. To be honest, I kind of like the current design, you know, better than like a squared off design, which was kind of showed in some of the leaks. Also, I know that people are hoping for an updated Mac, like a 16-inch, the new Apple processor, whatever that's going to be. So Prabha Arnav says, I'm thinking of iPad Mini with an external monitor when I'm not traveling. Hey, that's not bad. That's actually kind of similar to my setup. I actually have, if you look right here, this is my iPad Pro 11-inch, and this is actually hooked up with a USB-C cable to my monitor, which is right up here in front of me. And I do use it as a monitor sometimes, and it works really well. And I think it will work really well for an iPad Mini too. So that's super smart. And you can hook up, I have this mouse, keyboard, and trackpad. I can hook that up to this iPad as well. And so it ends up being a really nice setup. And if you're gonna get the iPad Mini, you can use a USB-C hub to power it all, because you'll have that USB-C port on the side. So that's really not a bad idea. I would really think about doing that. Definitely let me know down in the chat which of the announcements from today's Apple event was your favorite. I'd be super excited to hear about it, and I'd love to chat it up with you down there. I'm super stoked, and I'm looking forward to, you know, the upcoming releases from Apple. Until next time, creatives, go make something dope, and I'll see you in the next video.